it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, let me get comfortable. Let me get comfy cozy. So today's video is going to be a little bit different from my past monthly wrap-ups, largely because I have made the executive decision, instead of doing 2 monthly wrap-ups, I'm just going to do 1.
You sure about that?
I'm largely just going to talk about the things that I like the most and maybe the things that I liked about the least. Just kind of what I want to talk about the most, basically.
Now I do what I want. Reset. Now I do what I want.
So you know the rules. Get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack, sit down, let's chit chat. Hi, Boo-Boo. Ooh, Mama's tatas are out. So admittedly, I actually haven't been doing my nails as often the past few months as I was like at the start of the year. The past few months have been kind of hectic and my nails have been alternating between being in a state of just looking like trash. Technically, I'm going to call this the June wrap up, but a couple of these manicures were technically worn in May. The lies! The lies! So before we get into all that, I do want to say what's currently on my nails right now. On my nails right now, I have on Sally Hansen's Pacific Blue. This is the original formula. That's on both hands. And then on my swatch hand over here, I have on Sweet and Sour Lacquer's polish called the Nicole. The Nicole holds a super sweet. The Nicole holds a special place in my heart because this was originally gifted to me by the brand. As I'm sure most of you are aware, I absolutely love chunky, unky glitters. The bigger, the better, in my personal opinion.
I like them chunky. I like them big.
A few years ago, Darlene was mixing up some polishes and she mixed the... I forgot to get my water. Hold on, let me go get a drink. Today's beverage is sparkling ice with caffeine in blue raspberry. So we're going with the tried and true favorite. I don't feel like I need to say this, but this video is not sponsored by Sparkling Ice. If they want to sponsor me, sure, because I love this stuff. Darlene gifted this polish to me a few years ago. Originally, I think it was supposed to be like a one of. I love this one so much. I think I've bought this once or twice already. I absolutely love this polish. I am fairly confident that this one is still available on the Sweet and Sour Lacquer website. If you hear squeaking, that is Rue playing on the floor. You can use my affiliate code SweetNicole10 to save 10% off of the entire website, but you know, I always feel awkward throwing in affiliate codes in these, but like, you know, whatever. But this is a chunky glitter topper. There are stars, hearts. I don't know what to call this one other than donut. Like, it's a circle glitter, but it has a dot in the middle. It kind of looks like a donut. And there's also leopard print, hexes, holographic, all kinds of really fun glitter shapes in this one. There's also triangle glitters in here too, but I don't think I got any out my nail. For the Sally Hansen Pacific Blue, this is the original formula. They reformulated this one years ago, and it went from being like this fun summery color to like a weird, I mean, not weird, but kind of like a more like a darker icy color, kind of like in the vein of like China Glaze's Frostbite. I absolutely love this manicure, and that's another reason why I wanted to talk about it. Earlier in the month of June, I went to the Barnes & Noble store opening. I'm pretty sure that video is going to go up before this one. I don't know the order in which I'm posting anything anymore. I suppose if you watch either my second channel or if you tune into the live streams, you would know that I have agoraphobia and I'm trying really hard to like push myself to go out and do things. So they were opening a Barnes & Noble in Southbury, Connecticut. If you hear shredding in the background, that's the shredder. And let me give you guys a visual. Shredder. Shredder. Oh, now you stop shredding? Okay. So for the Barnes & Noble opening, I wanted my nails to look extra cute, even though I know no one's gonna care about my nails, but I was gonna care about my nails. So on my nails, I wore ILNP's Flip Side, and I was also wearing Femme Fatale's You're the Shadow, We're the Sun. I did receive the ILNP polish in PR, but I purchased the Femme Fatale polish. And I also had this manicure on both hands. I didn't wear the Femme Fatale on my Cindy hand. I just had the ILNP on Cindy. I had originally planned to put like a reflective glitter topper on top of the ILNP polish, but it was so beautiful. I opted to just wear it by itself. I gotta say, the ILNP Illusions collection is probably one of like my top favorite things that I swatched for the month of June. That collection was absolutely phenomenal. I feel like the Illusions collection is one of the best collections that they have done in quite a long time. I have very strong regrets for not doing a full-length swatch and review for that collection. I posted a short here on YouTube and all my other social media about it. It's absolutely phenomenal if you like magnetic polishes, that is. So I honestly don't know how to describe Flipside as a polish. I think the base is like either a purple or a magenta, and then you see like a purpley, bluish, tealish kind of magnetic shift, and then the base itself is also color shifty. It's like purpley pinky. I'm fairly confident that I have a swatch photo of the Femme Fatale polish on its own. I'll put it here. It's basically a really sheer base with gold glitter and like a golden shimmer. It's really, really pretty. This was my second time wearing that this year, and I just got that earlier this year. I should probably add that one to my favorite polishes of the years list since I've worn it twice already. Editing Nicole, write that down because you know I'm not doing it right now. Get on editing, Nicole. Another polish that I wore recently that I really enjoyed was Femme Fatale's Lady of the Lake. This polish was originally released in PPU. I think it was supposed to be in either February or March, and then they ended up releasing it in May. I went back and forth on whether or not I was going to buy this one, largely because online I couldn't tell how similar it was going to be to Femme Fatale's Blue Grotto, which was released in Hellhammy Creations earlier this year, I think also in February. I don't remember things, and I didn't write anything down. I'm just kind of yapping. But I did end up buying it, and while I do feel like there are some visual similarities to the two polishes, they're not exactly the same. I didn't purchase from Femme Fatale for years. My first time I bought from them was back when Mooncat was still Live Love Polish and they were still like an indie stockist page. Anywho, I started buying from Femme Fatale again this year. I will blame Blue Grotto for putting me down this rabbit hole because I kid you not, I bought Blue Grotto and that was my first Femme Fatale polish in years, and now I own like 20 Femme Fatales. So Lady of the Lake is really pretty. I wore that for like a week and a half until it started to chip on me. Pretty much everything else that I wore for the rest of the month was largely things that I had been swatching. Also, what happened this month is I had a hard drive failure.
Why?
I had a 5 terabyte hard drive that was filled with about 4 terabytes worth of data. Towards the end of May is when it started giving me some difficulties. I had a really hard time getting a video exported. I ended up moving what I thought was all of the files off of this hard drive onto like my big old hard drive, which is 15 terabytes. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that I thought copied over did not in fact copy over. Like it was failing that badly that I kept getting errors every time I tried copying files over. So I lost quite a few videos that were supposed to happen. I lost all of the footage and that kind of sucked. I'm currently recording this on the 26th because I wanted to be able to post it at the first part of July.
Right.
One of my favorite books that I read this month would be Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straub. I had such a good time reading this book. I had seen a lot of people talking about this across my social media. Listen, here's your warning now. If you've got little Timmies in the room, put in your earbuds. Tell them to skedaddle.
So y'all need to hide your kids.
Click out the video, but like and comment before you leave, because this book is spicy. I'm not going to get too into detail. So if you are unaware of what this book is about, you basically have this young lady named Temperance. For whatever reason in this world, if you happen to be a woman who is born in the same year as the village prince, you basically have to get put into this little contest to potentially become the prince's wife. And part of this contest of becoming the prince's wife, you basically romance a basilisk.
Huh?
And the basilisk basically teaches you how to and whoever does the wifely duties the best will get to marry the prince and become queen one day. There's a little bit of like a three-way, not that kind of three-way.
You need to get your mind out of these gutters.
There's a little bit of like a, is she gonna fall in love with the basilisk? Is she gonna fall in love with like the human prince? Which one will she go to? And basically she's trying to traverse. Yeah, traverse is the word. She's basically trying to traverse this world of what she thinks she knows and what she has no idea about. This is not for the children. This is a grown-up book. If you're saying to yourself that the plot of this book sounds really, really thin, definitely, you would be correct. This is a book for like the spicy book lovers. This is not a book if you're looking very strongly for like a strong plot. Nothing about a commoner having relations with a snake man in order to become a better wife. So many things about this book make absolutely no sense, but like, I loved it anyway. But like, this is not the book if you're like, oh, I'm reading for the plot. This is not a plot book. No. This is a... In case anyone was wondering, this is the face I make when I thought of something that sounds very out of pocket and I'm trying to decide if I'm really going to say it. This is a if you know what I mean.
Oh my God!
There were multiple times while I was reading this where I was like, man, if the plot was like a little bit stronger and it had a little bit less spice to it, this would be extra good. I still thoroughly enjoyed myself reading this. I still consider this one a 5-star. No, I gave this one a 4-star because I didn't like the ending, but I liked it enough that I will definitely read the next book. But I still highly recommend this book. It was really, really fun and also very spicy. Despite doing a Twilight reread almost every single year since the books came out,
A chronic problem.
I've never listened to the audiobooks of the series. For June, I listened to the audiobook of Midnight Sun, which is Twilight and Edward's perspective. Edward is so mentally unwell. Like, I love that man.
This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
I personally love me an unhinged man in a book. Like, give me a fictional unhinged man written by a woman and I will eat that up every single day. And that was what Midnight Sun was to me. If you have never read Midnight Sun before and you are a fan of Twilight, I highly recommend reading Midnight Sun. It's really cool to see things from Edward's perspective. I just want to show the size difference. This is Midnight Sun and this is Twilight. So you remember how Edward's like, oh, I don't sleep? This is what happens when we're inside of Edward's brain. When I originally started reading Midnight Sun, I had originally planned to do a tandem read between Midnight Sun and Twilight. I've never done a tandem read on the two, but I was enjoying Edward's perspective so much that I did not, in fact, continue doing a tandem read. If you want to be inside of Edward's head, if you want to know more about, like, the Cullens' powers and things like that, I definitely recommend Midnight Sun. This is such a good read. If you're a Twilight fan. I feel like if you're not a Twilight fan, you're not going to care either way. And it's Twilight, so of course I give it 5 stars. Life and Death is the only Twilight book that I would never recommend to anybody. If you're unaware, Life and Death is basically the gender-bent version of Twilight. All the characters except for Bella's parents get gender-bent and roles reversed. It's not good. I keep forgetting that I have props now. Also for the month of June, I read Immortal Dark. I fell down this lovely rabbit hole about vampires that are black.
I'm rooting for everybody black.
It's a story about a woman, a young lady named Kadan. I never can say it, Kadan. In this world, you basically have a world of like vampires and then like human families that basically sustain those vampires. You have like a little college that the young adults go to basically learn about the history of their families and the vampires and basically and hopefully try to like get them a vampire partner in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but that's kind of it. So Kadan goes there, specifically looking for her sister and also wanting to kill her some vampires. It's a very interesting world. I feel like this particular book was kind of heavy though, because Kadan is kind of like, they're actively grieving the loss of so many people in their lives and in their minds surrounded by a whole bunch of enemies. When I had originally heard of this, I thought this was going to be a spicy book. It's not spicy at all. Like the closest thing to spice in this would probably be like some heavy flirting, a little bit of smooching, and like a little vampire bite, but nothing like too scandalous. This is a YA book, by the way. The BookTube to this is coming out in the fall. I have not yet pre-ordered it. I think I might pre-order it. Also, this is by Taiges Gurma. I don't think I said that already. And also, I read this far enough in the month that I don't remember a lot of particulars. So, yeah. My last 5-star read for the month was Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion. This is book 2 in the Legendborn series. I just finished it yesterday. The book is in the TV room. I don't feel like getting it, so there's a picture on the screen. I absolutely love Bree so much. Bree is like my girl. I absolutely love her to pieces. But this book... Oh my god. The Legendborn Society, they can kiss it. Merlins, they can kiss it. Everybody just like suck it. I hate them so much. King Arthur, he can suck it too. Everybody in that whole society can suck it.
I don't with you.
Long story short, in this world you have magic users. All of the magic users kind of have like ancestral magic. For whatever reason, King Arthur, Merlin, and all their homies decided, bajillions of years ago. They don't call it a curse. I feel like this is kind of a curse. They basically put a curse on all of their descendants, where one person in each generation of the family will basically inherit the powers of King Arthur or one of the Knights of the Round Table. And they'll have like all of these like magical powers. They basically get signed up to fight in like this long-standing war against a bunch of demons. It's pretty much like teenagers fighting in a war. The teenagers for all of the Arthur and the legends and all that kind of stuff, they basically from the day they can like understand goo goo gaga, they're like, hey, you're gonna fight in a war, sacrifice your life, and that's what you're gonna do. And they're basically brainwashed by their entire family that this is like a good thing to do.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
So then you have Bree, who at the start of book 1 is mourning the loss of her mother. So she decides that she's gonna go to the same college that her mom went to in like a special program for high school students. And while she's there, she ends up trying to investigate what happened to her mom. Not to spoil too much, but she basically gets twisted up in this legend-born society. And she is, you know, a black girl in the South, surrounded by a bunch of racist white people who think very highly of themselves. I identify so strongly with Bree. I know what it's like being like a young black girl and like just the weirdness sometimes people can get around you when you're not surrounded by people who look like you. But like, I feel like Bree can't catch a break. She couldn't catch a break in the last book. She got dragged through the coals in Bloodmarked. It hurt my heart so badly. Like, there were so many times in this book that I wanted to scream, but it's such a good book. Oh my god, it's just so good. So good. However, I absolutely loved it, but it also dragged me through the coals emotionally. And I'm taking a break before I go to the next book because like I want to read something fun and bubbly and just like goofy, and I read too many things where everybody was going through it. So currently I am reading Emily Henry's Happy Place. My therapist actually gave this to me. It's a silly little rom-com. I'm only like 6 chapters in, but what I can gather from what it's about is you basically have a character whose name that I cannot remember at this time. They broke up with their fiance a couple of months ago, and they decided to go on a girls' trip with their friends. When they get to their friend's place, they discover, one of the friends in the friend group is getting married to another friend in the friend group, and 2, their fiance that broke up with her is also at this little shindig. Basically, everybody got invited for like the wedding. So she and her former fiance are basically pretending to still be together so as to not make the weekend weird for the wedding and all of that. Like, I feel like this is like the goofy little romance that I needed to get past all of like the emotional trauma that I read for June. However, I also started Little Liar by Leigh Rivers. I just started the audiobook because I absolutely love Little Stranger so much. I had a video on that also. There's so much like shebang happening in Little Stranger that I honestly forgot about all of like this like the trauma dumping that also happened in that. Like I just completely forgot about it. I started Little Liar thinking it was just gonna be, you know, straight filth, and it was no, like emotional trauma, wee! And I was just like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing? Okay. So that is all of my favorite things that I read and wore for the month of June. For the month of July, I want to try to get this formatting down a little bit better. I feel like it was a little bit hectic.
I don't want to hear anyone judging me, okay? I'm trying my best here.
For July, I'm also going to be going to the Romanticon convention. It's a book convention taking place here in Connecticut. Anyone who's watching this and you're like in the Connecticut or even tri-state area, I'll have a link for that in the description box in case anyone's curious about it and wants to attend. I did see that tickets are still available for that. And if you end up planning to go to Romanticon, please DM me and let me know so we can meet up and say hi. But thank you all for watching today's video. Thank you for sticking around. Quite a few changes coming to the channel, and I hope you all like it. Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members, Shenanigans, Stormy fans, your names all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that in the description box, or you can click join next to the subscribe button, or just, you know, hit subscribe if you like seeing my face here on YouTube. I hope everyone has a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.